Okay, I'm back and I am finished with the leaves for now. I've been working on choosing a blue for the morning glories. I know morning glories can be purple, they can be blue, they can even be pinks. I'm gonna go with blue. This is ultramarine. No, this is ultramarine. No, I'm wrong again. This one's ultramarine right there, and this one is Thalto. And I just like the way the Thalto looks better next to the leaves. So I'm going to go with Thalto Blue. This is the true, the color with the tint on top. I could use other tints. I also did Thalto Blue color with ultramarine tint on top, kind of like that. I think it would look neat even with the lavender, the violet on top. So for now, we'll just get started. They are very light with a streak of color, but they can be what I want because it's my piece. So I also know these tiny little thin streaks of color, the little bits of green. Some of that's going to be too hard to get with the Pan Pastel in the size. This is 11 by 14. You can see how small these are by gauging the size of my fingers. So it's going to be a little tough getting all those details like the snail and the little ladybugs, the birds. Those all come back in with either colored pencil or Pan Pastel or pastel pencil, and I'll probably do the words that way too, because it's going to be difficult to get those in with these sponges. They're just not that accurate. They're more of a loose style, but I like the loose style, so that's what we do. So I'm going to start with some of the dark, and I'm just going to streak it through, because what I've found with Pan Pastel is that the lighter colors on top seem to work better. I'll also show you my collection of pencils. My tracing paper again. Also still deciding. I think I'm going to make the birds bluebirds, because they'd complement the blue of the morning glories. Now I know there's a specific way these buds twist. They like literally look like God just took them in his fingers and twisted them, but they're so delicate. If you did that, they would be destroyed. But God can do anything, and his fingers would be gentle enough, I think, to twist them and not destroy them. Move this up, and then get a little bit more in there. So got that. Now I'm going to come through with the other side and grab the tint and start at the top. And again, I'm going to work my way out. Actually, I should have come in from the inside. Anyway, whatever I do, whichever direction, yeah, I think coming in from the outside is working better. I want to go the direction the flower blooms. Looks like I'm going to be adding some straight white on here too. Give me some more highlight. I can also still come back in with the pencils. So when I come back in with the pencils at the end, you'll see me working over the entire piece. That's just the way, I work. Again, I'm much more a multimedia artist these last few years than that seemed to completely wipe some of that away, didn't it? I'm more of a multimedia artist anymore because I tend to work in the more mediums I've worked in, which go back to my teaching days, which I still do a little bit of teaching. I have a private student this school year that's going to come once a week. But I'm not teaching at a school anymore. Our large classes in my home for the time being anyway. Who knows? I never say I'm never doing that again, because you never know what God's got for me to do. So see this dust? Just blow it right off. Dust doesn't bother me too much. So just kind of popping all that in. And then So you can see it's mixing with that darker color, and I'm kind of losing a little bit of that dark bit, but that's okay because I'm going to come back in. Anyway, what I was saying about the multimedia is that the more I've taught and had to learn different mediums to be able to teach my students, the more I went, oh, well, this medium does this. Well, this one does this. Oh, what if I use them together? And then all of a sudden, I'm doing multimedia work, which I never realized before, just how much I love multimedia. So it's kind of become what I do. That's just it. That's just the way it is. Okay, so this is this blue. Now I'm going to come back in with another clean sponge into my white. Just let me double check that this is white. Yeah, this is titanium white. And I am going to just pull in, and I have to dip pretty much each time and pull some of that through. It might even look good on some of these leaves. What would be best really is if I did this with the pastel pencil, because it would give me more control. So, but I started, so I'm going to continue with what I'm doing just so that they all have kind of the same. Look at that hunk of white that is deposited itself. There we go. Yeah, these are going to need, get that off of there. And sometimes I have to clean my sponge. Basically, I pressed too hard when I was grabbing some of this and some of the dust on the top. Sometimes I'll keep that dust. It would work like for a large area background, something like that. But it's alrighty. Well, there's my flowers for now. I have to let you know that anything I do, this is another paper towel I've got that I can clean with. I can also rub this along this paper on the background and clean this sheet of brown paper is about ready to be turned over, because I will rub it really good with some paper towel to get the worst of the dust off, possibly even vacuum it, and then I'll flip it over in my entire workspace and space. At the end of this video, I will take my camera down and show you my entire workspace here. But it is looks rather messy while I'm working, but I need to have everything at my fingertips, and that's just the way it goes. So I've got the flowers in. See, that didn't take very long. Another thing I think I'll do while I'm working in the sponges and the pan pastel is, I think I'll do that flame. So I have this sponge from before. I told you I use them until they either wear out or I need to wash them. So typically with a flame, I will start at the center. So I'm going to take this dark red. It's called, oh, see, I forget the names because the names don't matter to me. Permanent red. So this is the base color, and then the shade, extra shade, and then the tint. So I'm going to come in with this permanent red shade, back with my paper. And I'm just going to put it right here in the center. And I think I'll grab just a tiny bit of the bright red. And then I'll come over here with the orange. So this is, I believe, just orange. Yeah, it's just orange. And then this is Daryllite yellow, I think. Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce that, but anyway, yellow. I'm gonna come in with those. Now this one's got some dirt on it, right? From another color, from dipping into here. So all I gotta do is clean it. Isn't that awesome? So regular paint, you can't pull that off. So now this is dirty, and if I keep wiping my hands on it, I'm just gonna make a mess. So I'm gonna toss that, and I'll get myself another towel. So here we go. Now, let me get another little spongy thing. Seriously, I will show you my background. There are little tools everywhere. Oh, I moved that. I didn't need to move that. So now I'm gonna pull that up through. And this doesn't matter as much that I follow those lines. In fact, I don't know why I'm messing with that. Now I'm gonna clean that a hair. I just wiped it on my paper background. I'm gonna pull this up through that. See? Now, clean that off a hair. And I'll get into the bright yellow over here. I think it's actually called Hansa yellow. So it's just a bright yellow. And I'm gonna pull that up. Oh yeah. There. There we go. Let's do a swipe through the middle. Kind of blend some of that. Now again, I'm not going to streak across here with that light glow just yet because I don't, that'll be the last thing. That's something that's going to be on top. If I streak across there and then try to put the color underneath it, it's never going to work. So for now, I've just got that in. I still have to put the stems in. Again, colored pencil or pastel pencil. And I feel like the lamp post as well, I'm gonna have to do with my pastel pencils. So a lot of this is pastel pencil at this point. So I think what I will do is I could go ahead and start with that. And I'm gonna start with, I think I'll start with those birds. Make sure this is not causing problems. See, this is, sometimes I feel like I need a dry paintbrush because I get bits on here, but I have to be careful because if I go too, it's got that white. If I go too far, I could, with the brush, I could break off, you know, pull off some color, but it does work for getting some of that dust off that, so I need a bigger brush that's just real soft that I can run across there. Well, here it is, this one. You can see the dust coming out of it. I have used that before to just like pull the dust off an area. And that kind of tends to help, but it can also change it, see? It can be, I could use it to blend that area up a little bit. And there's no color on it, I clean it off. So it is another tool. You just start playing with, which I guess is an advantage of being a multimedia artist, is that I have a lot of tools. So let me get out my pastel pencils. This is what they are. They're the Carbothello, Stabilo Carbothello. So my friend Julie from JMGA Portrait Artist is who she is. You can see some of her videos or go to her webpage. She does an amazing job, especially with animals, but people too. So what I have, is the right thing. These are Caran d'Ache. These are the wrong ones. Sorry. I also have Caran d'Ache colored pencils. I'll probably pull those out as well. Caran d'Ache. Oh, come on. Where did I put them? There they are. I just got a new wooden drawer to add to my other one. So here they are. There's that. These are this wooden case. Again, when I show you my work area, I will show you those. So this is the pencils. So now I can go through here. I could pull out the ones I believe I need right now, or I could just lay these out over here to the side so I can grab what I need. I tend to lay them out and grab what I need. Now, if I'm working on a specific portrait, if I'm doing an animal portrait, which I haven't done as many of, but I do them. But Julie is awesome at them. If you need one, contact her. I love your business, but she's phenomenal. So, anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start grabbing these pencils and get what I need. So I'm going to have this extra piece of cardboard that I'm going to try colors on to make sure I have the colors I want. This is also where I can add in some, see, that's kind of the color I was using. That's more probably it. This is too navy blue, I think. Yeah. So these are pastel pencils. So if I go to sharpen these in my sharp, I'm going to try this next to here. So this is what I was using, was this, I believe. Oh no, I was using this. So is that going to give me the right color, or is this going to give me the right color? This is probably better for that bluebird. It's a little different shade. This is kind of the same tone as that. It would work for using it in the center of those flowers. So let's do that first. Now, sometimes I have found that the dust of the pan pastel does not want to let me add more of this color. So what I have to do is, when I've gotten everything kind of that first area done, I'll hit it with a spray of Workable Fix. Let it dry a couple hours, and then come in and add more color. So sometimes it's just this layer of pastel on top, trying to get some of these little areas that would have some shadow. And come back in with white and blend that out a bit. Always going in the direction the object exists. Always. I wouldn't be doing this flattening it across. So I might put a little bit of a shadow here. So these flowers too, just with the leaves, I don't know how much of this you want to really watch. You probably would rather come back and it's just magically done, like laundry. Do you guys have a laundry fairy? We laugh about the laundry fairy at our house. My husband will tease me and say, oh, when I'm doing laundry, oh, I see you're getting to do your hobby. I'm so glad you're taking time out of life to do your hobby. That's just so nice that you're doing that. And of course I tease him that lawn mowing is his hobby. So anyway, gotta make life fun, right? Don't take it so seriously. Laundry's gotta be done. Don't get all crabby about it. Just suck it up and do it. So anyway, just the way it goes, you know? He's getting ready to retire like soon. Like, I don't know when, maybe a month, maybe 2 months, but definitely by the end of the year. He's working 3 days a week, and he will go down to 0. And we have some trips planned, and we also show in, we go to Archon, a sci-fi convention in Collinsville, Illinois, and sell, he makes pens, and he's learning to do wooden bowls on a lathe, and we put my artwork in his pens. You've seen my videos about that. And we're also trying to figure out a way to put just a like little maybe circle of a image of something that I've drawn or painted in the middle of one of his bowls and pour epoxy over it. So we're branching out and learning more things and combining our actual hobbies. We do not combine our imagined hobbies. We don't combine laundry and lawn mowing, for example, except for the fact that, you know, I gotta wash his clothes after he mows the lawn. So I guess that's a combination of that hobby. But we do not otherwise combine it. Now I'm gonna come in with some white. And the white will soften areas that I think maybe need a little softening. Like maybe where I'm putting those shadows in on these bits here, that might need a little softening. The flower doesn't have like suddenly a dark splotch, so it needs a little softening. But that little edge gives it more of a roundedness, a three-dimensional feel. So I can run some white through this. Now what you got to figure out with white too is this can happen. I'm picking up dark, and then when I reapply that to another area, it is adding dark to that area instead of the white that I'm after. And white is hard to lay on top with this tool. The Pan Pastel, I can sometimes get some white on top, as I demonstrated, and I might try that again. Remember, it was crumbly and it wasn't, yeah, there we go. Let me add some, see? So that might be something I do a little later. Add a little more of that. So it's just a matter of going through and deciding, do I think it needs a highlight? Do I think it needs a shadow? And adding what I think it needs with whatever tool I have at my disposal to create that. I didn't put the darker shadow in there. I shouldn't be holding this other blue pencil because I might decide to use it by mistake. There we go. Fun. It's good to be back doing this kind of artwork. As I said, I drew up a lot of coloring, Bible verse coloring pages while sitting at the hospital and in rehab and during hospice with my mother-in-law. But that's something I can take with me very easily and work on. I could get sometimes 1 or 2 of the ink drawings in a day. So it was nice to have that time. Again, I'm not saying hospice was nice, but you know, life is life. We all die, we all live, and to embrace whatever it is. When I sprained my ankle in June, it was like God was going, okay, I told you to do this now. Look, you've got the perfect time. So that's when I really kicked it into gear, getting this coloring book going. So this is the cover, and then I just talked with a printer yesterday about what he can do for me printing up some books. So hopefully those will be ready in the next month, and people can either order them or I'll figure that out after I get this done. So here we go. I'm kind of really liking those flowers. Now, blue and orange are complementary colors. Sometimes I like to add a little bit of a complementary color on white in there on a work like this. So what I'm going to do too, these are the 2 colors I used for those flowers. I'm not going to put them back in my tray just yet because I might decide, see how there's white on that blue tip. So that's where you just run it along on a paper towel and it cleans them so you can use them. I'm just going to set these 2 up the top because I might need those later. And I don't want them to get mixed up with what I'm doing for the bluebirds. So bluebirds, I've done so many bluebirds, I kind of know their coloring. But if I didn't, here's a photo. Those are both, yeah, bluebirds. So I know pretty much what a bluebird should look like. I have some others up here too. I have another project that's a commission by a neighbor, and she has been so gracious to wait for it. So I have bluebird photos sitting up here. So their heads are blue. And then I'm gonna take this light blue pencil because that just seems muddy to smooth that. There's also a blender that I could use. This little cardboard stick. So, and then I'm probably gonna have to come back in with the ink on this to brighten those eyes. There we go. He's kind of cute. Look at this ink. The ink is tricky too because of the dust. Oh yeah, nice. And I think I will overshoot this as well. There we go. Now we need the orange. The orange. They have a bright orange belly. And we will, but not the whole belly, the top bit. And then it goes to white. And their beaks are dark, like charcoal. Okay. And then let me go in with the white, with the blue removed. There's still a tiny bit on there. I gotta get this white on here because the green of the background is shining through, right? And there, I like that little bluebird. That looks good. And then I need, so I have, these are the colors I use for my bluebird. So I'm gonna hold those aside as well. And I need something dark for his beak. could also just use the that little black pen, ink pen. There, come on. There we go. My watch says I'm experiencing higher than normal stress. I'm not a bit stressed. I'm actually enjoying myself, but I guess I'm excited about what I'm doing, and my watch thinks I'm having a heart attack or something. I don't know. I feel fine. I don't feel like my heart is racing at all, so that is pretty funny. One day I was cleaning the house and my watch, I have a Garmin watch. My husband works for Garmin, and I love it. But one day it alerted, because you can put on there medical alerts. So like if something happened to me, my heart rate was like crazy, or I was passed out, or I didn't have a heartbeat, it would alert the two people that I tell it to alert. And so I had one of my daughters and my husband on there, and it alerted them that I was in distress. My husband was working from home that day. I literally was maybe 20 feet from him. And he hollers out, he goes, "Dolores, are you okay?" I'm fine. Why? Your watch just told me that you're like crazy. My heart rate had popped up just for like a beat or two. It was crazy, but I was all right. I was fine. I know, maybe I should go to the doctor and get that checked. It's not happened again. It's been months. Okay. So these pencils, as I said, you cannot sharpen these with the electric pencil sharpener that I recommend for the colored pencils. I do not like to use these little sharpeners for colored pencils because I find that it kind of tears them up. But they work great for these. Now the bad thing is that's why I have this cup here, is I sharpen them into this cup because it's a mess. So this guy needed a tip on him again, which he kind of did. There, I can sharpen him into there. So it is nice that way too. This isn't a huge set. I like to bring art along when I travel, but I don't like to have to bring my massive pencil sharpener. And I have a lot of pencils where this is a smaller set, and since it fits back in that little tin I showed you, I can pop them all back in the tin, bring along the paper I want, and bring these with me. I can also bring my Derwents, which are a watercolor pencil, and there's only 72 in that set. So again, it's more portable. You do want to travel in a protected case. I don't think I have one. Oh, I do. I do have that down here. You know what? I'm going to shoot a video of just my workspace and some of my tools, because this is getting off on a tangent. But anyway, I'm really happy with how this is looking. I love that little bird. Since I'm done with the bluebird, I'm going to go ahead and put these pencils back. I still might use that white on the flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and put those back. And I'm going to make a decision about some other things here. But one thing I could do real quick is let's sharpen this red and pop in those little ladybugs. So here's a little ladybug. And here's a little ladybug. Gotta say it like that. And there's one more little ladybug. Where's the other little ladybug? There it is. There's a little ladybug. And this little ladybug didn't get her spots, or his spots. Now, let's darken up those spots. Trusty Micron pen. Like I said, if I get to where I can't put the marker on, I just take the marker and clean it on a piece of paper to get the dust off. So, and then let's do that, and then again, see if we can get some spots on this little dude. There. Good, little guys. And then I've also got some snails. They're pretty much just brown, but maybe a bit of orange. That might be fun. Maybe they need a little orange. Maybe they're more Excited snails, happy snails. I would be happy if I was a snail and I was a brighter color. I guess they're supposed to be brown so they can hide. These are going to be orange snails. So just the two? I think it's just the two. Oh, but look, I missed a ladybug. Let's get that ladybug back in there. And then I don't think the little underneath the wings is red. Okay. And I think that is like a blackish. I know his head is black. And then that looks pretty good. That snail might need a little bit of darkening, but I don't know that it's going to matter in the long run because that's going to have that light streaming. Okay, I think this is good for this video, and I will be back once I decide on my colors for my text, and then I will shoot another video of that. Thanks for watching.